All right, Brian from Garage Hall. Today we have a couch, and it basically came in these 3 boxes, and they are labeled 1, 3, and 2. And just to give you kind of an idea, it did say 2-person lift, so just keep that in mind. And we're gonna probably set them up in here somewhere. That's my grandson Aiden, Percy, and the wife. And my son-in-law. I don't know if he wants to be on camera. I might have to edit that out. But anyway, let me open these boxes one by one, and we'll see what we get inside. Okay, so here is box 1 open. Had a piece of cardboard in there. We took that out. Looks like you have some sort of direction or something. So we'll see what that is. And then looks like cushions and stuff are buried in there. So we'll open that up, and I'm probably gonna have to cut the box away a little bit to get to it, but and we cut the QR code off the box, but there is a QR code that you scan and it will go through the directions, just so you know. Okay, so this first piece, basically, so that's kind of like your storage compartment. Open that up, and then we have the vacuum sealed cushions, which will be awesome once we cut them open, because that will kind of give shape. So we're going to pull them out and pop them so they are ready. And there's a bunch of them, so I think that's all of them. So that's a stack. And then you got those pillows. So we're going to basically cut them and see how they pop open. Okay, we're chasing my grandson down. So he's got one of the cushions, and you can see how that's kind of like expanding as it goes. So we'll let that go. Okay, so that was the burrito looking cushions. So again, we'll put them over here, and you can see how thick they've fluffed up already. Okay, so this is box 2 opened up. So that's kind of how that storage works. And again, more cushions underneath that will open up to let them pop open. Okay, so you had a couple of these pieces, 3Ds. 2 of them look like they have kind of like a curve to them. Other ones seem kind of flat. Then you had these different panels here. And we've been separating the cushions from one side to another, just so we don't get the 2 of them confused. Okay, so the last box, it has like a lot of different hardware and different pieces. And I would show you the booklet. There's 2 booklets, and it looks like you can make it left or right-handed depending on everything that it comes with. So again, that's your pieces. Oh yeah, that's the manual. So let me chase Aiden down for that. But okay, so here's your 2 set of directions. I may have shown this earlier in the video, but so this is your right-hand side. Then this is your left-hand side, and then again under here are the codes to show the video on how to put that together. We're just going to use the manual for now, and we're going to just use the left-hand side booklet. Okay, so opening the booklet up, that's your exploded parts list. So there is a bunch of pieces, to say the least. I'll show you that box in a second, and then your installation steps. Let me zoom out in case you have to freeze frame your video. Then that's your next set. So it does come with legs, so that's cool. So that raises it up, because I thought they were going to be really low. And then it shows you how to put all the sections together. So on and so forth. So it's page 14, set 13, and then basically you're done. So I guess you could also, oh, missed the page, so I went back one. So I guess you could probably set it up as right-handed or left-handed. You could change it down the road, but you'd have to obviously take it apart. But anyway, and that is the box of miscellaneous pieces. Okay, so for this, 4 X's, and they were marked in a bag, and they basically just kind of screw into this hole. And then there's some sort of sticker that goes on the bottom that we haven't found yet, but I'm sure we will. But anyway, we'll put those in. And it comes with 2 hex keys, a 13-15 millimeter wrench, and a hammer, or as I affectionately call them, a whacker. Okay, so we found the pack of stickers. So basically just peel and then center. I think that's center. And then just push and hold for a quick second just so they adhere pretty good. And then rinse and repeat all 4. All right, so these are the feet. I put stickers on them. The sticker pack, we had it. I don't know where it went. So, and that is the washer, the Z2 washer. So this basically goes in like that. Washer gets screwed on, and then rinse and repeat each corner. All right, so that is your Z, the pack of stickers. And we laid basically the parts out with the tools to make it a little bit easier to find. I didn't put them in alphabetical order, but hey. All right, next you need the Z bracket. So that's that, and it goes like a, when you have it orientated this way, it goes kind of like a W, and then it's the M6 by 16 millimeter bolts with the hex key. Very small one. With the handle, makes it a lot easier. So it's very nice that they sent those. Those are very nice little hex keys. But anyway, so basically one there, and then 2 on this side as well. Okay, so on this side there is this little section here, kind of below that, and you're looking for part L, and then with the 2 M16 bolts. So we'll put that like there. And the orientation, so that's your pull handle, so that will lift up like that. So the orientation of this is pointing towards the back. So far, we'll find out at the end, but that's how we're doing it for now. Okay, step 2, so you need OT and S, the corner pieces, which are the R's right there. And so that's OT, S, N, and then the R's. And then the bolts we need are the M855s times 16. And then a Y washer. And then it shows that corner all going together. So we're going to kind of put it together, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so I have part T, and this is the R. And then you can see how the holes will line up. So it only goes one way. So if you have it the wrong way, you're going to know, because it's going to sit flush with those holes. Just to kind of give you an idea. So that's going to sit like that. So there was a critical part we almost missed on the bottom of those R's. It's where the foot goes, the foot peg goes into, just to let you know. So that's going to be your top of your ottoman, and then that's going to be your bottom. Okay, so we have the ottoman connected. The one side, I guess it's the O side, just looking at all the decals. That didn't sit perfectly flush, but it looks like maybe that was intentful, because you're probably going to put the brackets up here. And other than that, that is kind of how that looks put together. And again, this is going to be your top, and then the bottom is going to be all the ones that you can screw the legs into. Okay, so next is this part, which is on this direction page. So I guess that's K2. And this is where you're going to use the hammer, and then basically you are taking K3, which are basically going to be the support ribs. So you're putting this on the end, and I'm going to have to do this off camera because now I just dropped that one. Put one on each end, and then basically using a hammer and then whacking that into its position. So stay tuned. Okay, so here are the ribs basically in place, and what you're doing is you're placing them over the hole. You kind of slide it over, you'll feel it find its home, and then you are hitting it with the whacker like whack-a-mole, and you're good to go. Almost missed a step. So this is the U-bolt, not to be confused with an actual U-bolt. So this actually goes on the end here, and I guess we screw that in like this. I'm not sure how tight, but we'll figure that out as we go. So it doesn't look like it has a section to make it too tight, so we'll see. So this goes on the long side with that weird configuration there, and then we'll put one on the ottoman when we get to that point. But next we're going to put those K2 pieces on the sides, so stay tuned. Okay, so depending on how I edit this, we had to go back and do a step. So that's T, that's S, that's O, and then that is N. So make sure you have it in that correct orientation, because then we started putting the brackets on the outside and things started looking a little weird up until the point where we started putting these U-bolts in on that side. Then we realized we had the orientation incorrect, so pay close attention to that. Okay, so this part was a little tricky. So those U-bolts come in. The orientation is you want to have the bolts facing more towards the top. Sorry, bounce that. So because a future step is going to have these cushions, and you can kind of, not cushions, it's kind of more of a backboard, but you can see how this kind of tilts back a little bit, and then you're going to line these holes up with these at some point, so it should sit something like that. Oh, and make sure that the nut certs are through the back, so this is going to be the open side. Okay, so this is part D1. Has a sticker for the front. And basically what you're doing is you're putting those W pieces, I call them W's because they look like upside down W's, and then you're inverting them, so when you put them in the frame, it's going to look like this, so they sandwich in between. And then now we put the cross members in. Okay, next we're behind the couch, so you can see all the holes in the back. Just kind of give you some bearings here. So we're going to be putting the D's in. So basically you're lining the back of this up like so, and then putting the bolts in. So I'll kind of show you when it's done. Okay, so these are all the D's in place on the back, so you can kind of see. Let me get some flashlight. This felt really absorbs light like crazy. But anyway, you can see all the bolts going through. Went together pretty quick. And then next we're going to put the cover E on. So let me get my hands available for that, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so that is the backing. This was tight. So basically what we did is we basically pulled down here, and then that moves the top, and then we were basically pulling down, trying to get the seam to run down the top over here like that. But yeah, pretty good. Okay, so this is the frame that you put the wheels on. So that's M, not a W. So you put a wheel there, there, and then on the side. And then those side wheels are what are going to catch on this to keep it from pulling out too far. So, and then H1 basically gets bolted to the front. So this will act as the front faceplate on that. Okay, so the bed frame bracket. So this is how it's supposed to operate. I'll show you how it connects. But basically you're pulling up on this, then you're pulling up on that, and then that's how that's supposed to sit. And then when you're done, you push it down, and then it sits back into place. And just to kind of like show you how that works, so when you get the mechanics of it, you can kind of know what to do. So, and then that's what it looks like on that side. And then we're going to flip the frame down so you can see how I bolted it in. So you got a bolt there, one in the middle. and one on the end. What I did is I put the one in the middle first, so that lined up the two end ones because they're more slots than holes. And then if you're facing it from behind it, you got the front part there. This is what they consider HL, or the left side facing out. So if you're sitting on your couch for orientation, and then basically replicate that on that side for that bracket. Okay, so again, that's the face, and these are the 3 bolts that you put in here. Again, I put the center one, and then I kind of wiggle the bracket around to get these in the right position, and then that's that side. So that step is done. Okay, so the lats are basically in, and then that's what will support it when you pull it out. And then you pull up on it, and then push down, and then it'll fall down. And then next we're going to put that kind of like trundle cushion on that, and then push that underneath. Oh, helpful tip, you want to pull these straps out before you put the cushion down, so obviously it makes it easier to pull in and out. Okay, so how I got this here, so you have to stop, but when I was putting it in, I basically kind of lifted it up and over. So that's how you can remove it completely. And then putting it back in, just kind of lift it slightly on each end. And you can kind of see it go into place. Then these 2 handles pull out, and then it'll catch. You lift up, you pull out, you push down, and then that will line up with your cushion. Once we get that in place, I'll show you when we're all done. And then put it away, lift up, let it fall down. And then basically, that's it. So we'll put all the cushions on, and I think we're close to being finished, so stay tuned. Okay, so this is gonna be the far side, and basically again, those are M's, those are the W's, same piece, just upside down. And then you are basically just taking that and sliding that down in. Pretty good. And of course, this has the legs on it as well, so make sure you put those on. But that is the corner, basically finished. Okay, so coming together. Next, we're going to put the rest of the D's on the back side. Okay, good. Keep turning. It's getting tight. Oh, put that in there a little bit better. Okay, get one more turn. See, easy enough a child can put it together. Okay, good job. Let me tighten it one more time. One turn. Oh, that's pretty tight. Good job, bud. Cool. Okay, so this is fully assembled. John, my son-in-law, and Percy, his dog. But so it gives you some idea of how that is. And there's Aiden. Okay, let me open up everything, and I'll show you how it all works. Okay, so here you get a ton of storage, obviously. Blankets, pillows, extra cushions, snacks, whatever you want to put in there. Then, yep, watch your feet. Okay, and this pulls that and up. You got it?
Yeah.
And then there you go for that piece.
Oh, wait down! Wait down!
As he demonstrates. Okay, help up. Lift up. That folds down. That folds away. Okay, hang on. Let's roll on this side. And then a whole nother huge section for storage. Okay, you want to close it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big.
But okay, so we got the tape measure out, and what is it on that end?
107.
107, and that's Carter, our elder grandson. Say hi. Okay, and then on this side, So hang on, let's get that a little bit straighter. And right there. And what's that?
82.
82. Okay. Anyway, Brian and Percy and Aiden and everybody else from Garage Mall, thanks for watching and be safe out there.
Yeah.
Say bye.